Welcome to the HanWha booth here at SMTA International. I'm joined by Jonny Nichols. Great to see you, Jonny.
Thank you, Trevor.
Okay. Now, casting my mind back to APEX, which
Yes, sir.
seems a lifetime ago,
Yep.
but you introduced a new system there, as I recall.
Yes, sir.
And it was a combination of an existing system and your H series as well.
Yes, sir.
And it had backward compatibility, but you've added things to it since then.
Yes,
This was the X series, as I recall.
that's
right?
correct. That's correct.
Oh, my memory's not too bad then.
No, you're good. You're good on that. Very, very good on that. So, excuse me. Yeah. So what we were introducing then was the new XM series machine. All right. So we have an X factor or X dynamic, so to speak, that we're really evolving right now to be compatible with people's existing investment in HanWha technologies, so that if they have older generation machinery, we want to make them know and understand that we have a bridge solution that still lets them realize the investment that was made in feeders and things like that,
That's
or
important.
the older generation stuff, and we're not forgetting about them, all right? They are the actual, they're the brick and mortar that has made us who we are, so we want to take care of them just as much as we want to take care of new business prospects that are out there as well, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at the XM technology and what it could do, right, this is a very high-speed machine, although it's not the HM series. The HM is really the high-performance family of machines that we have. The XM machine is actually faster than the HM series machines, all right?
Okay.
So it's got an extended range of capability. It's got the blended capability of being compatible with previous investments in electronic feeders from SM series and DCAN series, but it's also got that blended capability, taking some of the high performance features that are exclusive or have been exclusive to the HM series and now bringing it over to the XM. Things like being able to run not just dual lane, but different product dual lane,
Right.
So we want to give people a bridge solution where they're not being, we're not forgetting about the existing investments that are out there in HanWha technology. We want to be able to bring that forward with us, and we're doing that with the X Factor known as the XM520 machine.
Right. Well, that's very important.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, because people got a lot of investment in feeders and feeder trolleys and all that sort of thing.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars
Absolutely,
investment. Yeah.
absolutely. So that's essential. But I believe you've also added some capability for oddform.
Yeah, we do. Right. So the XM and the HM520W, these are both machines that are very capable chip mounters, chip shooters, and even flexible mounters. But now with the introduction and the amended technical specifications of even the HM520W, we can handle parts that are arguably larger than anybody else, taller than anybody else, heavier than anybody else, and we can exert force control in a range that's very, very broad, as light as 0.5 newtons and as heavy as 100 newtons, all right?
Right.
Can we use grippers? Absolutely we can. So if you're going to have an odd form capability, you have to be able to handle a variety of nozzles and grippers to be able to handle that. You also have to have closed loop force control in the form of a broad range like 0.5 to 100. And when we talk about large parts, and I say we handle the largest, the biggest, right?
Right.
We're handling 200 millimeters by 140 millimeters in XY body size, parts as tall as 55 millimeters, parts as heavy as 300 grams, right? So when you look at a part like that, you know, if you pick up a Galaxy S22 Ultra, this phone, this is the latest generation phone from Samsung, right? This weighs 300 grams.
Yeah.
This is a lot of mass for any pick and place machine to be able to handle.
Absolutely,
HanWha's doing it right now, not only with the HM520W. We have a little bit less capability in terms of large part handling on the XM520, but it too is odd form capable, just like the HM.
So where are you going to be? What sort of applications is this for? Is this for power boards, power devices?
Good question, all right. There's a lot of variety on that. With automotive applications, there's a lot of larger parts that are being put on these boards, so the EV marketplace, right? There's a lot of unique parts that need to be handled now on the automated lines. There's even military applications where they have very large parts that are very, very expensive parts, and I'm talking about parts that are $10,000 to $15,000 in cost each, one part, right? So the precision that has to go into the automation to pick and place that processing there has to be perfect every single time. So not only do you have to handle large parts and heavy parts with that, you have to make sure you have a very high precision system capable of picking it, vision aligning that, and placing it very delicately when you get ready to process that particular part.
Right.
So military applications and automotive are really the big drivers right now with the odd form stuff.
Right. I mean, one of the things that a lot of the small to medium manufacturers have here, especially in the United States, is that they don't know what they're going to be making in 6 months' time.
That's right.
So they need a lot of flexibility. How does your new system deliver more flexibility.
Yeah, and we're the word flexibility is one of those overused terms, right? We throw it around like any term today. When you look at flexibility versus the word adaptability, right? Certainly, every maker of equipment today has flexible systems, and flexibility is defined by ranges of part handling. How big of a part can you handle? How many feeders can you have on a line? Can you reduce the number of setups and changeovers, and things like that if you have enough feeder capacity? But when you look at the word adaptability, it's what people are buying today. There is a capital investment that has to be made, but they want to make sure that capital investment is adaptable to what they get asked to build 2 years down the road, 5 years, and even 10 years down the road. Yeah. 10 years ago, people would be looking at the capitalization of equipment over a 5 to 7 year period. Now we're being asked to look at it over a 10-year period of time, principally because they have to have the readiness on demand so that when it comes time to use that tool today effectively for what we have to build right now on the lines, they still have to know with confidence that they've got what it takes to build something that they don't even know is going to be here yet. Right. So that adaptability feature, the X factor on the XM520 gives you that. The HM520W gives you that. And when you bring those machines into lines that are pre-existing with other chip mounting and flexible mounting technology, it's a very powerful complement to make an existing line that's already invested in and even already capitalized or paid off, so to speak. Now you can add that odd form capability and further extend the range and the lifetime of that capital investment line. So yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Talking about changeover, you touched on it there earlier. I mean, in an optimized situation, what is the average changeover on your systems?
That's a very difficult question to answer
difficult question,
right? But when people look at printers, they want to have a quick setup and changeover in the realm of 5 to 10 minutes. Okay.
Right.
Can you change over a pick and place in 5 to 10 minutes? Sure, you can, but you have to be ready with your offline resources to be able to pull that off, and that includes intelligence for setup verification and things like that. But there's a lot of thought being put into lines on being able to handle improved efficiency like rolling changeovers and things like that. So the intelligent systems, the software, and the hardware today is all ready, not just from us, but from everybody, to be able to give people greater efficiency on the line going from job to job to job. With HanWha, we have rolling changeover capabilities. So if you want to reduce the gap of time between the end of one board in a run and the beginning of the next board, instead of that gap being like this, we want to shorten that gap to like this. So we want those boards to be as close together as possible. That's what rolling changeover does. So if you can use that, you can leverage the investment with your line to be flexible, adaptable, high capacity, high speed, large feeder capacity. That's where people are starting to realize a lot of benefits from current generation technology from HanWha.
Right. Okay. And the last question was, of course, adaptability.
Yes, sir.
You've mentioned that word a couple of times too.
Yeah.
But how, let's talk a bit about how adaptable you can make this new X series.
Okay, so adaptability, I have to use another word called modularity, right? So when you buy a piece of capital equipment today, the tool you have today, to make that tool ready for tomorrow's application that we don't know what they are yet, right? You have to have a modularity feature integrated into these machines.
Okay.
And modularity in the form of pieces of hardware like the heads on the machine. Today, it's a chip mounter. Tomorrow, it may be a flexible mounter, or maybe it needs to be an odd form machine. So you have to have the ability to change out heads and adapt the machine to tomorrow's requirements. That is what's being built into our machines today so that people can have that readiness and that return on investment 10 years down the road. So heads, nozzle changers, docking carts, compatibility with previous generation docking carts and things like that, those are all modularity features that are very, very important and really pay huge dividend in the form of return on investment for people.
Right.
Okay.
Great. Well, sounds like you're going in the right direction with
Thank
it,
you.
Jonny.
Thank you.
So onwards and upwards. What's coming up next?
What's coming up next? Well, let's just say keep your eye on the software solutions from HanWha, okay? T-solution, T-solution, T-solution. Lots of very exciting software developments are coming out from HanWha.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep our eye on that. So
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Trevor.
Imagine the competitive advantages of producing high mix and high volume PCB assembly on a single SMT line, running non-stop even during changeovers. It's available now from the only maker in the world providing mixed production SMT line solutions complete with full dual printing, SPI, pick and place, reflow, AOI and board handling machinery for different product dual lane processing in the smallest footprint possible. Make more PCB assemblies with less time, less space, less investment.